to give you a little introduction to my display here. So I'll just be brief and then we'll go over and I'll show you some of the things that I baked, some new Swiss recipes that I tried. The very first time I went to Switzerland was in 1989, and my mother had cousins and grandchildren and children go. Susan was on that trip, Susan Hartwig. So that was 1989. And then we've been back about 3 times since then. And Nick Juno has been our tour guide, and he said that we are 8th cousins. So he's the one that helped put the video together. This picture I had framed because it means a lot to me. This is my grandmother and her sister, and this is her immigration papers. So that's really special. And when she moved here, of course she moved to Neuchatel, but she married my great-grandpa, the Travis, and they lived in the corner house up here across from the school. It's still there. He was a woodworker, so he did a lot of woodworking and made chairs and tables. I have a really nice rocking chair. But all of this stuff came from Switzerland. Every trip that I took, I tried to get one more thing in my suitcase. So, of course, a lot of the cows have the traditional Swiss bells on them. And then music boxes. This is pretty special because I actually found this one and it has a Neuchatel on it. Okay. So sometimes when I'm cleaning at home and I need a pick-me-up, I just turn on the music box for a few seconds. This was one my mom had bought, and it's pretty special because this is how most of the houses look. And if you're wondering where Neuchatel is, I bought this placemat because I thought it was pretty great. It shows all the flags of the different cantons. Neuchatel is right here. And you can see it's by the French border, and a lot of the workers will cross over into Switzerland because they're working at the watch factories. So about 5 o'clock in the afternoon or whenever they get off of work, it's kind of like driving from Onega to Manhattan, bumper to bumper vehicles. But you can see this is where France is. And then Bern. So my goal is to take a train around Switzerland. That's my goal. My great-grandma, Laura, when she came to the U.S., well, before she came, she lived in this house. And I just had, well, here it is right here. I just had this laminated so I could keep it. But this is all in French. It shows the house here. And the cornerstone of this house where my great-grandma lived is 1626. Wow. 1626.
And Cindy, wasn't that house in the video too?
Did they videotape it?
Well, I thought it was in the video.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't see all the video. Was it? Okay, good. And so my mom always said, this is in French, but my mom always said, this says the Word of God is forever or is eternal. So I thought I'd check up on that. And I asked my cousin, Nick Juno, this week what that says. And Nick Juno said, it's old French, but after taking a few looks at it and some imagination, I would go for the Word of God remains forever. So that is on the cornerstone. And this house is still on the National Historical Register in Switzerland. And when we were there in '89, they were putting a new clay roof on it. And it had to all be approved for that. So that's pretty special because we can all go over there and see this house dating back to 1626. In 1989, we could tour this house, but the last time we were there, the owners turned it over to their son, and he turned it into an apartment complex. So we could not tour it, and it looked a lot better, Susan, when we were there, because we had a picnic in the backyard. And then most of the Bongers came from Lanier. And I just happened to find this picture this week that my mom had painted. And this is of the church at Lanier, and this is where most of the Bongers were from. And we've been there several times. The last time we went, Nick took us to the meeting place where they meet to have coffee. So I met a lot of my cousins. They could not speak English. But one interesting thing was our son was with us, Derek, and he works with John Deere equipment, and he was showing videos to one of the farmers that could not speak English, but they were sitting there. They could communicate by looking at equipment, so that was pretty special. That's about all I have. This is a cool book if you have time to look at it. This was in our hotel room, but that's kind of like what you're going to see out of your hotel room in Neuchatel by the lake. Like I said, every time I came home, I tried to bring something, but I drank this. The Neuchatel, I got that at a little grocery store. And then one of my cousins lives in Bern, and she is an artist. So last time she let me pick one of her cards out, and I thought, I need to frame that, but she sells her artwork, so. And then again, this is a bell that I like the Swiss bells, so. Okay.
Is that a cowbell?
Yes.
Don't talk about the cow's bells waking us up.
In the morning, the first night we were there, yes, we stayed in a little village, and they were going down the little street, so.
What's the purpose of the cowbells?
Oh, so they can probably keep track of the cows are up in the mountains to
Know where
find
they're
them. Yeah,
When
Yeah.
they would move them every day out to pasture.
yeah.
So then, yeah, we see them, and our kids just,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
So if you step over here, I'll tell you some of the foods, and then you can help yourself.
I might add, if you ever, you just can imagine how beautiful country it is. Amazing, just amazing and clean.
Clean. Did you have a question?
From where we are, I'm not from around here. Where is Neuchatel and where is the cemetery, if anybody wanted to go see it?
You're looking at me, aren't you?
It's north.
To the parallel,
Yes,
and then west,
it's almost 2 miles, it's like 1.7 miles.
yes, west, and it's all gravel road. After you get off Onega Road, it's all gravel road, and then you go a couple of miles, and I think there's the Neuchatel Road, is that right?
It's called C Road now.
C Road, okay.
Parallel still has the parallel sign, and
Right.
Neuchatel Road is gone, and now they call it
But
C
you'll
Road.
see the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see
And
the
the cemetery
schoolhouse and the
is right
church.
In the hall.
Yeah,
No, not the church.
and not the church, but the, I always
So
Yeah,
how
the
many
consider
miles
the
are you
church,
talking?
school the church.
From here?
Yeah.
It's almost 5 miles to the, no, it's like 3 miles to the parallel.
You can't miss it. It's all gravel road, and then you see the building, you can't miss it.
Yeah,
I live on
yeah, she lives on that road, so I let somebody else, you know 1.7 miles, you know. And this has some pictures of the church that burned.
south. North, it changes to C Road.
Is that what cheese? Yeah.
think
Right,
it's a
that's what
cheese.
it's from the, yeah, and you can't miss it, there's nothing else really around. So it's like farming.
So,
Go up to the hills.
I worked in a test kitchen for about 30 some years, but I've never really gotten to try Swiss recipes, and I've had this book since 1989. So I've enjoyed just trying to test recipes that I want to test. So most of these recipes came from my Swiss cookbook. First of all, you'll have to try the different cheeses. This is what was these two were used in the fondue, and then this is the American Swiss cheese. You'll really tell a difference between the American Swiss and the real Swiss. This cheese was about $27 a pound, so I only bought a half a pound. But I want you to sample it. And of course, croissants are popular, and when you stay at a hotel in Switzerland, they have a wonderful breakfast. It is usually cheese, croissants, meats, fruit. They serve a lot of whole grain breads. So this is a nice hearty whole grain bread. And of course, chocolates. We toured the chocolate factory, and it was amazing to see just huge bins full of the chocolates. A new recipe I tried were these heart-shaped cookies, and they have almond meal in the dough, and then they're filled with strawberry jam. But I thought, those are pretty, I want to try those. Well, I made 50 cookies because each cookie takes 2. So it was, yeah, you sandwich them together with strawberry jam. So this was interesting. This butter cookie, let's see, it's called Christmas butter cookies. And it said they were most popular. And the bakeries sell the dough for the housewife to take home and shape and bake. And it's flavored with lemon zest and fresh lemon juice. And something I found out about the cookies, they do not use baking powder or baking soda. Like we always add baking soda or powder to our cookies. So that's what I found was kind of different. And then when I volunteered to do this, I texted Nick Juno and said, please send me some recipes. So he sent me this Neuchatel, it's called Neuchatel hazelnut tart. I thought, perfect. Well, of course it was, I think, in French, and so he translated it for me in English, and then I had to weigh everything out, was in grams, but that was okay, I have a scale. The hazelnuts came from Oregon, so I ordered those, and they're roasted and then put in a food processor and blended up. And then the base is kind of like a angel food cake. Egg whites whipped with sugar, and then you blend in the finely chopped hazelnuts. So that's kind of different. But he said this is really a traditional dessert, so I thought, I have to make it. And so I whipped cream, if you'd like some whipped cream on it. Over here is fondue, and I am not a fondue expert, but I've been wanting to make fondue because every time you go to Switzerland, you have fondue, don't you? And so I followed the recipe out of here. And the wine will evaporate, so we did use wine in the recipe.
So is it cheese fondue?
And usually with fondue, they do not drink ice cold beverages. That's what I read, and that's what we've experienced. When you eat in Switzerland, usually they just bring room temperature water or Coke. Coke's very popular. The first time we went, and Susan probably remembers this, we're all so thirsty. We had little kids in our family, and it was our first night in a village. And the waitress said, "What would you like?" And we said, "Lemonade." Remember that? And I was thinking, oh, fresh homemade lemonade, and we're all hot and thirsty.
With ice.
With ice. And she brings a bottle of Sprite or 7-Up and sets it in the middle of the table, and it's cold. It's not cold, no ice.
And the water didn't have ice either.
Yeah. And that was lemonade. Boy, was that disappointing. So today you have Coke. I did put some ice out, and then water, and we have coffee, decaf and regular coffee. So just enjoy and help yourself. The fondue's over here, and Ruth will help swirl the piece of baguette in the fondue.
And I might mention, we have tables set up over here that you can sit down. There's a table back in the military area that you can use, and also one in the religious area. So you can sit down and just enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
And I might say fondue. I always thought fondue had to be cheese or maybe chocolate. But the one time we ate at a really nice Swiss restaurant, and it had a lot of meat, really thin sliced meat. That was really good. And the meat was deer and wild boar.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Did you cook it in the?
Yes, on the tables. And I think that it wasn't oil that we cooked it in, it was hot broth.
They eat a lot of hot wild boar.
Yeah, it was really good.
That's, I was gonna say, that's tasty.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was all good.
If you want to try a bunch of different fondues, there's a restaurant chain called the Melting Pot.
Oh, Ruth was just talking about that.
They're in the major cities, and
Yeah.
they're a little pricey, but they're so
That would be fun. I heard of that.
It's a lot of fun. I've always been on with girls, like,
Yeah.
together with my daughters.
It was, did they have meat as well as
They have
cheese?
a order type thing, and then they have your main dish, and then they give you dessert.
Yeah, okay, good, good. Okay. Well, I'll put that on my to-do list.